Welcome, everybody, to episode 218 of The China Show. We've got a big one today. We've had some crazy things happen in China over the last couple of days. A massive subway collapse in Chengdu.
A new one.
Yeah, and the new subway that they're building.
I think some people were confused. They thought it was something that has happened before. This is the new subway line of Chengdu,
Yes.
one of China's biggest cities, has now collapsed.
Yeah.
So remember, China gets, it might be an authoritarian country, but they get things done.
Yeah, we're going to show you all about that a little later. And of course, there's been basically a building under construction, or maybe an old one being refaced. The scaffolding in Guangzhou's all collapsed, so there's a bunch of nonsense going on down south too. But massive floods, all sorts of things to cover.
I want us to talk about the floods a little bit. Massive floods all across China.
Yeah.
We've gotten some new footage out of Anhui in eastern China, which originally we were going to focus on Guangdong in the south.
Yeah.
The Anhui flooding right now is insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. So hopefully the victims of that don't suffer too much. It's bad.
Well, I mean, at least the Chinese government's saying, like, no casualties or whatever.
Oh, of course. Well, they'll always say that,
Yeah.
right? We also had a huge protest in Australia
Yes.
surrounding a very important visit. We break that down. It's going to be a very interesting one.
So, yeah, we've got a lot on our plate, so let's saunter right into it with what's new.
Yes.
This is where we talk about what's new, specifically with regards to China. And I guess the first thing we're talking about is a waffle versus a flapjack.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's got nothing to do with China.
No, it doesn't, but it turned out to be very important because just like, any good host, Winston and I are both involved in the chat before
Sure.
the show. We'll keep an eye on it, make sure, things are being civil and people are having good conversations. And a huge, fierce debate broke out and is currently going on right now in the chat about what is better, pancakes or waffles, right? Now in South Africa, you were educating me that you call them flapjacks.
Yeah, what
These
you
type.
call a pancake, we call a flapjack.
Yes, which is also called the flapjack in many parts of America.
It's like thick and, it's different.
But the debate is these flapjacks or pancakes versus these waffles, right? And it broke out, so I said, why not put up a poll, right?
Okay.
So there's currently a poll right now, right? But what happened was, and right now, waffles are at 51%, pancakes are at 49%. It's neck and neck, right? What I noticed was this turned into a serious political debate. It was, and I'm not even joking, like now, the wafflers, which they're now called wafflers, are calling the pancakes flat cakers and like conspiracy theorists and calling them criminals.
Aren't they just the same thing in a different, shape?
It's the same batter, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Shut up, everyone. It's the same freaking thing.
Well,
Just in a different form.
you did choose pancakes over waffles.
No, but when I said pancakes, I meant the South African kind, which are actually more like crepes.
Which are crepes, not more like.
Okay.
Just
They're
crepes.
just thin, and we put it with cinnamon and sugar,
Right.
and that's it.
Cinnamon sugar crepes.
Yeah,
But that's not in the vote.
That's what I would call a pancake.
Crepers, sit down. This is not the debate.
Crepes would win out of all of these. This is just gross. This is just like, know, when you sit down at a pancake
I
restaurant.
thought we were on the same freaking...
No, when you sit down at a pancake restaurant in America and you order the small pancakes or the children's pancakes, they give you enough to kill an elephant.
Why is it killing the elephant?
Because if an elephant ate that amount, it would die. Human digestive
And
systems
yet
are,
I'm still here.
they're more advanced, so they can, they
I
battle,
see.
they attack it, and, but then you get real fat.
So before any of you move on from this, I want you to know that I'm a caker. I'm a pancaker. You have to pick one.
Crepes.
No, that's not in the debate. You're like the kid at school that has to be contrarian.
So what
all
is
the
it?
time.
That's I guess it's a subset of pancakes.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
flat.
So you're in the cake.
I'd
cake
have to
zone.
stay in the pancake zone.
Yeah, because pancakes could be all sizes, right?
I don't want to look like a manhole cover.
Yes. Waffles, wait.
Okay.
Before we move on, we have to call this match.
Okay,
here.
okay, what is
so
it?
I just wanted to say that the accusations coming from the wafflers were insane. Nobody in the pancake, in the caker kind of sphere
Sure.
was hurling insults. Nobody said any conspiracies about wafflers. No one did anything like that. But the pro-waffler propaganda was insane. In fact, I saw a lot of parallels with ABP.
Yeah.
But not actually ABP. It's more like PBP, Pancake Bad Party.
I got
Let
you.
me play that soundbite. So
Oh, you want that?
Imagine that said PBP.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right? Nobody did WBP.
No?
So we're capping it off right now with waffles
who
versus
won?
pancakes. We're at 1,700 votes, which I think is plenty.
Sure.
So the poll is going to end now. I'm going to hit end poll
Okay, do it.
in 5, 4, 3,
Fascinating.
2. It's obviously fascinating.
Sure.
Everyone's participating.
Of course.
1. This is what makes us different than everyone else.
I know.
0. And I'm
Who
pulling
won?
the poll. It is
What?
51% pancakes, 48%. Sorry, 51% waffles. I misspoke.
Ah,
there.
you-
Recount the vote.
Yeah.
51% waffles and 48% pancakes. Apparently, 1% of the vote just flew out the window there. Don't know where that went. The math
Yeah.
doesn't add up.
I mean, I guess waffles have got more squares per inch or something.
But why do you need so much more space for sweet stuff?
Well,
It's
I guess
already
you
sweet.
could store different things in them,
Like you-
butter in this one, syrup in that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could
Yeah.
it's a storage for your condiments.
So you're being
Ketchup in
you-
another.
You're being you're being very diplomatic,
Sure.
trying to see the winner for what
Yeah.
it is.
It's very it's very segregated, you know.
All right.
Anyway.
No, that's bad. I'm all about inclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, more of
Let's-
a caker myself. All right, guys, you
Let's
win, and
move
I've
on.
always ended up in the minority vote every single time.
Every time. Well, I guess I did too this time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What do we got here? We like to show you funny little clips, that happen in China, and this is a little traffic snafu that you would see. So, someone's reversing without looking, kind of common. Hits someone behind them on a bike. They're like, "Oh, I hit someone. Let me open my door." Oops.
Hold on, let's see that. Okay. So
Don't worry, they're okay.
we had a guy bump, just give a little kiss to the bumper on an
Yeah.
e-bike, right?
Because they're not
car.
watching
Well, the
when they
car
reverse.
did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The car's not watching when they reverse. This has happened to me.
Yes.
I've had people
Oh, yeah,
reverse
me
into
too.
me.
Me too.
And you know what? This door opening thing happened to me too.
Yes, me too. But thankfully I barely missed it. Did you run into?
No,
the door?
I really hurt my finger.
Dang.
The thing is, I was going over a bridge. Now, people are not supposed to get out of the car on a bridge, but there was bad traffic.
It's China.
Yeah, and it was a taxi, and the passenger decided he's not going to wait in the traffic. He just wants to walk down the bridge on the middle of the road. So he opened his door without looking as I was going past, in the bike lane, by the way, and clipped my little finger, and it was really bad, like cut to the bone,
Dang. That's sucky.
It was very, very painful. And he's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, so this is what you'll see.
Yeah.
You will see people.
Look, he's
running
more
into doors.
caring about his door than the person. Did you see?
He was very. I think he was mad that 2 people hit his car.
Yeah.
He felt like he's
Well,
been
look,
victimized.
he's the passenger, isn't he, in that car that got out? So it hits him, and he's like, "Oh man, look what you did to my door! I can't close it now." That's his concern.
average VW driver. am I
Yeah,
right?
yeah, average VW China driver. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. What is this?
You read it.
Yeah. If you're too weak to return the dumbbell, please ask the girls at front desk for help.
This is at a gym in China. I thought this is clever.
They're not even trying to be funny, are they?
They are.
You think so?
Absolutely, 100% positively. Read the
Yeah.
Chinese. You can see it. It's funny.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, there they are.
It's
Tiantai.
yeah. It's just it's to embarrass people into putting this stuff away. Because if you go to a gym in China, there's gyms all over China now, and a lot of times people will just leave the equipment everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Gyms are a weird thing in China, though.
I started joining one in 2010.
No, I
Been
know
around for ages now.
they're around, but they're usually it's kind of like scams. They pop open and they
Yes.
get everyone to sign up for a membership, and then they
bro.
close after like a month.
Bro, you just said a mouthful. I'd say the majority of them are like Ponzi schemes.
Yeah, and then they offer you like, oh yeah, sorry, we had to close, but you can go to our other studio, which is like 10 kilometers
Yeah.
away, or
Yeah.
like in a different
Or
city.
our friends
Yeah.
one or whatever.
They like
Yeah.
pass off the memberships type thing, and then they don't go because it's too far away.
That's actually a really good point. It'll be in the next town.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
people just don't go, but then they still get to keep the money because
Yeah.
they've theoretically transferred them over.
Yeah, you can't sue them because it's like, oh, well, in the contract
Mm-hmm.
it said it'll transfer where we go.
Also, the majority of people that go to gym are women in China.
Yeah.
A
I noticed
vast
I noticed
majority.
a skew though. It's interesting. When I went
Yeah.
to the gym in the south, it was like 90% women.
Yeah.
In the north, it wasn't.
Okay.
I went to a gym in Baotou in Inner Mongolia.
Maybe it's
It
different
was
up there.
mostly men.
Yeah.
But that was back when gyms were first starting, so
Yeah.
it might have been a different dynamic.
Yeah, I know that when it comes to fitness and appearance, women are starting to take it seriously in China, but not men. Because you don't have to, it's more about like your connections and how much money you have. If you,
Oh, for sure,
you know.
for sure. But at the same time, I think there's more machismo stuff up north.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
also, there's another thing is that I think we need to look at demographics. Like if you're talking about Shenzhen or something, yeah, because the whole city is women anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is just women.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Anyway, let's move on to our next little thing here, which is our famous Chinese official, Zhang Heqing, who is a Communist Party official.
Yes. So we love his posts.
Yes, because they're always nonsense.
Like
where's the trains one?
posted that, and it was meant for you to think there were like 8 simultaneous high-speed rails of stationary pictures of trains moving across like a mess of. It's fake.
It's fake.
He posts these these images and videos, right? Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to believe that. I guess he thinks that if you're going to scroll by real quick, you're not going to notice. Mm-hmm. So Xinjiang is where the genocide is happening, right?
Yeah, so they're constantly trying to deflect.
So they, for some reason,
Yeah.
they think that Muslims are not being persecuted and genocided and ostracized from society and put into re-education
And replaced.
because why?
Because it looks like the Swiss Alps in a fake image.
Yes.
You know?
Like where are we here? But just look at this.
Okay,
Play this.
Xinjiang is a wonderful place. This butterfly.
Look at this.
I'll get us out
I
of
just
there.
kept zooming it because I want you to see.
What's that woman doing in the background?
She's like a floating witch.
Yeah, look at
she's
this.
like floating.
She's floating.
And look at the
Cows, dude. I love the one walking in the background.
Yeah, it's walking on top of the flowers.
Yes. Oh, man.
Look at that, the clouds.
It's just ridiculous.
This is like an acid trip nightmare.
It's just so fake.
The
What on earth?
The more you look at, wait a minute, hold
Yeah.
on a second. I got a big problem.
What's that?
Those are Mongolbao.
Yes, they are, aren't
Those are
they?
Mongolian yurts. And
Why are
wait
there
a minute,
Mongolian
hold on.
yurts in Xinjiang?
And that woman's Mongolian too.
Yeah. Why is there a floating Mongolian witch with Mongolian yurts in Xinjiang with Jersey cows?
Why is there a Mongolian woman floating with witchcraft playing an electric sitar?
Here's the thing. It just shows you, in China, the Chinese officials can't tell one minority from the other.
No.
They literally just say, oh, minorities, they all wear weird clothes.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's the racist CCP government.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't know. They don't even know.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on in their own country. For him to post that this is Xinjiang with Mongolian yurts, and it's just the fakest thing ever.
Fake cows over like triple green screen LSD hellscape.
I know, it's ridiculous.
And a Chinese official posted this.
Yeah, that's a
in the
Chinese
government.
official.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like the diplomatic ambassador to Pakistan or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. No, he's a CCP official, all right.
Yeah.
Man, this is just weird.
I just wanted to like slow it down so you guys could, because the more I looked at it, the more details I could point out. I like the mapping of the textures at the bottom. It's just like jello. It just like gave up.
Yeah, yeah.
It's what it is. It's like basically like AI imagery layered and layered and layered on top of each other.
Yeah, there's nothing in this entire photo is real.
I like the little tiny
Cow?
shit cow. It's like
Yeah,
a
it looks like
pile
the other
of
one took
poop.
a turd, yeah.
Yeah, it's like only a couple feet behind it.
Yes,
but
yes.
it's tiny.
My favorite is that black cow up in the top corner
Yeah.
that's just strolling over like
On top of
the what area on top of the field. Like, it's weird. What is going on?
I love the depth of field. I love the perspective. I love how those cows are enormous.
Oh, yeah. Because they're in the distance, right?
Yes.
This is
I actually managed to enhance it.
Okay.
So you saw that woman in there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
That's all AI. It's nonsense, right? So I found the real video. Let's have a
Okay,
look.
let's take a look. I'll get
This
us
is
out
the
of
real
here.
video.
Yeah. Ah, I see. There's.
See, isn't this more realistic?
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
Just so you guys didn't get tricked by Zhang Heching's video.
Exactly.
Just want you to see the real one.
Yeah, for those of you who are confused as to what's going on here, it's pretty straightforward.
Play it. There's more.
Oh, there's more of it. What happens is people go to these tourist places because they see like a picture on Chinese Instagram, right? Weibo or Xiaohongshu, and it'll show a woman like standing in the desert by herself, dressed up as a Chinese goddess, looking all beautiful with this amazing photo. And they like come to whatever area to do this. And they go there to get that picture taken because they want to be there and do that picture. But it's like a factory. It's a farm. It's like a battery farm, except for taking photos in a costume on a dune.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. But
It's insane how many people come to do the exact same photo.
Yeah, look, they're all waiting for their turn to go stand there.
It's like a factory.
It's a factory for photos.
Yeah.
It's one thing that really annoyed me about China. And I mean, like, if that's your bag, it's your bag if you enjoy that. But people would go to the beach and not enjoy their time at the beach. They would go to the beach only for the photos. So they'd have they wouldn't enjoy it. They wouldn't swim. They wouldn't do anything. They'd go and pretend to swim, pretend to kick the water and splash to get a photo.
Right.
And that was the whole point, is to get the photo, not to enjoy yourself. It kind of annoyed me. And it annoyed me because I used to go with Chinese friends thinking we're going to go to the beach or go hiking or something.
Doesn't that sound like you're going to swim at the beach?
Yeah, they're like, let's all go to the beach. You're like, yes, that sounds like fun. You get there and it's literally no one actually enjoyed themselves. Just running around taking photos.
And you waited in 8 hours of traffic to get there.
Oh, it's bad memories.
Anyway, this is more realistic.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is not funny now.
Yeah, now we're back. Now we're to the real deal. Look, every year China experiences terrible flooding. Okay, and we've talked about this before. There's quite a few reasons for this. Number one, bad planning by the government. They dammed up a bunch of rivers they shouldn't have dammed up. They messed with nature a bit too much. Nature's pushing back. Yeah. All right. Number two, terrible drainage. Incredibly bad drainage.
Yes.
All Chinese cities have bad drainage.
Yeah, so we've talked about this to death, but you go up north where it doesn't get much rain. Those cities end up being just as bad, if not worse sometimes, than the cities that have rain, because they're so poorly planned with nothing in mind. So you'll have these ghost towns that pop up basically overnight. Millions of capacity for millions of people, and they don't put proper drainage in. Yeah. And you'll have a sprinkle, and you'll be up to your knees in rain, and cars are washing down the road.
Even down south where it rains heavily every year, the drainage is terribly bad. I got caught in it so many times where you're in a bus and it gets stuck in the water and you have to roll up your pants and walk out up past your knees.
Pretty
the
normal
water.
There.
Yeah, it's crazy. It gets like that all the time. Cars get flooded and
you can just play this. It goes on forever. This is the current flooding right now in Meixian County and Shixian County and Anhui, and also apparently some is taken to the capital in Hefei.
Yeah.
We have Guilin and Guangxi and Longyuan and Fujian. So all of south and eastern China is getting absolutely decimated right now.
Yeah.
And when we say decimated, we're not talking about the river flooded a bit. We're talking about entire houses and buildings are collapsing into the torrents in the road.
Yeah,
which is wild. It's leaving this absolute wreckage everywhere.
You know what also is wild is that some of the people I've been speaking to online that are living in China, that are living in unaffected areas, like say in Beijing, they don't know this is happening.
No,
they actually don't know the flooding is this bad.
It's funny because you'd think if you look it up on the local channels there, which are still state run, you can find some stuff. Yeah. But it's limited to that area basically. If you're outside of that scope, it's not on the super big national news or whatever. And if it is, it's a very passing story. It's it's heavy rain in southern China.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
They'll show some propaganda of the of PLA helping or something. Yeah. Oh, I love this guy.
We didn't want to show anybody getting hurt.
Oh no, of course. So it's kind of funny they rescued these two, this elderly couple, and they're just completely covered in mud.
But they're alive. So
they're alive.
Show you any bad stuff.
Yeah, just thought that was kind of funny.
They made
interesting.
They made it.
It's good. It's good feel good moment.
But look, it's just getting this is in Anhui. The buildings are being swallowed into the roads and the rivers. It's crazy.
Yeah, you would think that this kind of thing would be making international news. I haven't really seen it make international news. Have you?
A little bit, but nothing with this coverage that Eyewitness stuff.
This is in some of the aftermath. People scavenging the food that was flooded. Which,
and cigarette packs and things like that.
I would advise against eating any food that you've recovered from a flood. Don't
go in the flood water if you can avoid it, and then don't eat flood food.
Yeah,
probably a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is in Anhui. Look at the sheer scope of this.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, remember when we were in what was that place?
Guizhou.
No, in Guizhou. Was it Zhengzhou or something?
No.
What was that stupid tourist place we went to with the fish and?
Jinyuan.
Jinyuan, that's right. And remember, at night it flooded and the whole banks flooded and everything.
The whole thing was like this.
Yeah, and all the.
Check out this house.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Yep.
It's insane.
Just reminds me of that.
It was very similar.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even on the news.
No, that wasn't. We were there, and
it was on the local TV or whatever. That was it.
They had all these tourist boats and stuff on the river there. It's one of those fake brick towns, where they build all these looks like an ancient temple, but you go up to it and it's wallpaper.
Yeah.
That type of thing. But they had all these little tour boats and stuff moored there, and then all of a sudden the water, everything got flushed away, and everything was just destroyed.
Yeah, that's right.
It's crazy. All right.
We were worried we weren't going to get out.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And remember, just down the road, what's that famous place again with the whole water thing? And it got completely obliterated at the time. There's that very famous tourist place, and it's just down the river.
Oh yeah, in Hunan.
Yeah.
In
the hell's it called again? I remember that made the news because they couldn't, you know, yeah, you know what I'm talking. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Sorry, that was a long time ago. Okay, anyway, just to say we've witnessed this kind of thing with our own eyes. It's very common in China, and it's terrifying.
Yeah,
we were actually drinking at a bar down at the river.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a bar; it was a grilled fish place.
Yeah, whatever. And they were like, "Get out of here!"
They were like, "You gotta go
up the mountain." And we went up.
Oh, and we watched it. It went,
and the water just rose up where we were sitting, like in a minute.
In a minute.
So it's bad. It's really
scary,
bad.
Dude.
But back then, you know, we're like, whatever, having a good time. Who cares? You know,
we're like, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
It's terrifying, dude. I mean, it's just swallows. Floods are so scary.
Absolutely, and it's devastating.
It is.
So something that isn't devastating, we'd like to have a quick word.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's have a word.
So today's video is brought to you by AG1. We absolutely love AG1. Drink AG1 every single day. It's fantastic.
Yep.
So I basically noticed that my energy was starting to dip. I noticed that I wasn't myself anymore. And honestly, we don't eat the best, right? Sure. I try my best to eat pretty well, but
I think everyone tries.
We try,
at least mentally.
But the thing about AG1 that's fantastic is that it's one scoop of powder into a glass. Takes a few seconds to make, and we drink it, and you're set for the rest of the day. All of your nutrients, all of your vitamins, you've covered everything, all your nutritional bases, right?
Yeah.
I trust AG1 because unlike so many products, the entire formula is backed by research studies and not just the ingredients. AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work and gives me the peace of mind by covering my nutritional bases. The formula is fantastic. We trust it. We love it. We absolutely love AG1. If there's one product that we trust to support our whole body health, it's AG1, and that's why we've partnered with them for so long. It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/ADV. That's drinkag1.com/ADV. Check it out.
Yes, please. You know, I got a friend, and he was convinced that pizza is the most nutritious food ever. Because he was like, it covers the entire food pyramid. He's like, it's got dairy, it's got protein, it's got carbs.
I like the logic.
And all this kind of stuff. I think he would benefit from some AG1, actually. Because he's one of the sickliest looking people you'll ever meet in your life. It's like, that's proof that he's wrong.
Hopefully he's not watching. Anyway,
I mean, if he is, he'll be drenched in sweat, rolling around in like a pile of grease, because that's what that's the outcome.
Well, if we benefit from AG1, then he definitely will.
Absolutely.
And anybody, even if you have a healthy diet. Seriously. It's a great thing to put on top of that. All right, let's moving on.
Yes, moving on, everybody. So it's time for us to move on to... Whoa, hang on. That's a bit too premature. Give me a second.
It's okay, it didn't pop up on screen.
Yeah. I know, it's in the background, but my favorite part of the show is Slopaganda. Okay, guys, so I'm sure everybody out there has seen these videos going around because there's thousands of them where there's this formula in China, okay? It's something that CCP sycophants and shills and propagandists and people who work for the Chinese government, they all do the same. They'll put up, you'll see our thumbnail today, they'll put up a China versus USA.
Yeah, we did it as a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah. And you would see, they'll show like a homeless person in America, and then they'll show like the newest, flashiest subway station or building that's just been made in China, and they'll say, see how much better China is?
It'd be like a tent city in Philadelphia or
and they'll
something.
be like, Americans shocked or embarrassed.
Yeah. And then it'll be like a I don't know, a Ferrari going down a Beijing road or something.
Yeah. It's a very lazy propaganda, by the way. It's very lazy cherry-picking stuff. But people fall for it. And it's such a good formula that the Chinese government rewards that kind of thing, actually. And they push it. So today is kind of a little bit of an antidote to that. So we'll show you what we're talking about. Okay, let's get out of there. And here we go.
Welcome to China's infrastructure from the future. Now today, we've come to Chengdu city in Sichuan province. and we're gonna check out their crazy, insane metro system. I think I may have traveled forward in time to the future. Look how clean it is. It's immaculate. I've never seen anything like this. China is really embarrassing America at the moment, especially when America's subway looks like this. I mean, this just blows any other country's metro system, subway, whatever you want to call it, blows it straight out of the water. I mean, it's just uncomparable. You can't compare. The UK, the UK, London Underground, forget about it. The US, if you go into a New York subway, you're lucky to come out with your life.
I think that's a pretty bad take, you know. This guy's not paying attention to what's going on in China, is he?
You see how easy it is to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the joke, right?
Yeah.
So this is a shill for CCP sycophant dude,
Yeah.
right? Loves CCP. It makes all these videos about like, oh, America bad, trying to. He's like ABP for for the CCP.
That's what he does, and he's not even American.
No. So he basically goes around and shows these like pristine examples or whatever, and makes these.
When something has just been built,
Yeah.
they fly him there specifically
Yeah.
when a new subway thing opens or an
Right.
airport.
They're like, "Look
and
at
then he'll be
this,"
like, look at this, and then show like the worst picture he can find of the New York subway or something. That's easy to do.
So what
Yeah.
the parody here is you can take the exact video and you can just overlay. Look at all those beautiful subway systems in New York City.
There's some incredible
Right.
ones. And, you know, here's an interesting thing. The New York subway has, recently they've created the new Grand Central Station. It's the first big upgrade they've done to the line since 1910. Right now, you might think that's a bad thing, but that's a good thing. That means that it was built so well that it was able to service the entire city for 100 years, more than 100 years.
Yeah,
you know.
So the thing is, like, can you go back to like the actual thing we're going to talk about?
Well, it's coming. I'll play it for you. By the way, oh, that's interesting that it made it
Because
in
it's
there.
propaganda.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go back to that in a second.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that, by the way, that did happen. What was it? Two days ago, there was a mass stabbing on the Shanghai metro. Shanghai is China's most sophisticated city.
Yeah.
All right. And 3 people were stabbed. Who knows what happened to them, because the news is very scant about it.
Yeah.
But I saw the video footage myself. One dude definitely looked like he probably didn't make it. Who knows? Yeah, it's kind of tough to say. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, every country in the world has its issues. All right. And if you want to compare apples to apples, you got to be fair about it.
Yes.
Okay. China has got very nice subway stations. So does New York City. So does
Russia. So does Europe.
Northern Europe. You know. Yeah. It's not like a competition at the end of the day. But people use it as propaganda. Anyway, what should be noted here is that this particular line, that same place the shill was, the Chengdu subway.
Yeah, that one you just saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's going on about how amazing it is.
And how America's embarrassed.
Yeah, line 13 collapsed, as you can see here, the sinkhole. Now, line 13 is a new one.
Brand new.
And I love how there's an article from last year about it that says very specifically, Chengdu Metro Line 13, intelligent, safe, and reliable. See how propaganda works? You can say something, and you just expect people to eat it up. Does that massive sinkhole look intelligent to you?
That's literally line 13 inside the earth. It consumed it.
Yeah.
Because geological surveys weren't done properly. Things are rushed. Palms are greased. In China, would rather have people die and a boatload of propaganda to be able to rub in America's face about how they get things done than to actually do things properly.
Yeah. When is the last time a New York subway tunnel collapsed? I can't think of any offhand. Was there a massive sinkhole in the middle of New York City? I can't think of. Maybe it happened. Who knows? But I can't think of it. I can think of plenty of these sinkholes in China.
What did it start construction in 2022 or something?
Yeah, exactly. And it's supposed to open in 2025. All right.
Right.
But they say it's intelligent. That doesn't look intelligent to me. They say it's safe. That doesn't look safe to me. That looks the opposite of safe.
Well, what you do is you take your hand like this,
Yeah.
and then you ignore the portal to hell in the
Yes.
ground.
Yeah.
Then you just look at the train on the left, and you're fine.
According to the Chinese state media, there are 0 casualties.
Yeah, and I'm happy to go with that because then I can laugh at how ridiculous this is. Because I'm not going to laugh at a situation where people were hurt or died.
Of course not. Here's the thing. I find it a bit hard to believe because
Yeah.
that is a tourist area where people go to see the ginkgo trees and stuff. That's a very well-traveled
It's
area.
very, very high traffic.
Yeah, so there's
We have
going to be a
footage
lot.
from
Yeah,
there.
there's a lot of people there, right? On top of that, all those residential buildings. By the way, they all had to be evacuated, and no, whatever. Take a look up there. You see that massive building?
Yes.
That's teetering on the edge of this massive sinkhole where all the structural earth has disappeared. I'll go back there. That's incredibly dangerous. These high-rise buildings, their foundations are being undermined over there. Those things, I wouldn't feel safe living in any of those buildings from this day forward.
Bro, I'm so tired of this. I mean, we lived there over a decade. I don't mean to be apathetic about this, but it's like we saw this so much in China, and it's just so infuriating to see how many people and institutions and everyone going out there saying, well, China might be kind of an evil place because of the government, but man, they do stuff quick and they do it well. No, they don't.
They do it quick, yes.
Literally don't. It's so bad.
They do it quick, not
Yes,
well.
Yes.
They don't, and this is proof. Again, this is not even opened yet, all right? And it's collapsed line 13.
Yeah.
They, in 2023, they'd already completed 70% of it,
Yeah.
right? 78% in 2023, a year ago. They're supposed to be opening next year, and now it's collapsed in on itself. So it's not even released yet, and it's broken.
So here's my problem, right?
Yeah.
I always like to run this thought experiment. It's like, well, that's in China, and China's gonna have to deal with that, right? That doesn't affect the rest of the world, but it does, and I'll tell you why. These massive government contracts that China does, and it's supposed to be the best stuff they save for China, right?
Yeah.
The standard of quality. These are state projects. These are not private companies.
Yes.
A private company doesn't go, we're going to take this tender to build the line 13 in Chengdu,
no.
right? This is the central state,
Yeah.
right? And they go, here's a boatload of money. We're going to do it, right? Then something like this happens, and it gets buried in the news. Not many people talk about it, and people move on. They go, well, if they hear about it, like, well, that was just China, right? But China's exporting these projects all over the world.
Yeah, and not only to places like Africa, Europe as
No.
well. Look at Montenegro, how they destroyed the rivers.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, we can say, oh, well, that's in Africa, and they need anything they can get, right? So even if it's substandard, it's better than nothing, right? No.
It's going everywhere.
It's going everywhere. It costs people's lives. It turns into massive trillions of dollars in debt for these countries. And then it also, the countries where you might live, or you might be watching as an English speaker, get these contracts too.
Yeah, and I mean the people living in Africa as well. And,
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is that not important?
Yeah.
Right? People brush this stuff off. It's like, oh, it's in China, oh, it's in Africa. No, it's everywhere, and it's a big problem in everywhere it is.
That's absolutely right. Now, there's a little clip that I wanted to show you, which is a little bit unrelated, which we stuck in there. Let's just get to it. Remember the floods?
Yeah.
So we showed you the devastating Anhui flood footage, right? What does the Chinese government do? Rather than send people to go help, once again in Anhui, in a different part of Anhui that wasn't hit by the floods, they they opened the fire hydrant over here to film propaganda about people. Stupids. See, look at them like, oh, we're packing the sandbags or whatever,
Well, Chinese citizens are filming this and putting parody music over it because they think it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah. They faked the flood.
Yeah, to film propaganda.
To film propaganda, to be like, we're helping in that flood.
Yeah,
no, you're not.
How about you actually just go help and film yourself actually helping?
Yeah.
Why do you have to fake it?
Why do you have to film it?
Yeah.
Why film it?
Yeah, why film it? Exactly. Dude, you're already
They're
at the
already at the
wedding.
wedding.
The deal is
It's
closed.
That's a deep inside joke from old
Old
days.
ADV. Anyway, take a look at this nonsense, okay? You've literally got people that are stranded, their homes destroyed, their entire towns destroyed, missing family members, you name it. Rather than go help those people, the Chinese government makes a farce.
Yes.
A stupid facade where they go and set people out and they're like, let's basically have a play.
Yeah.
This is China's Broadway.
This is
You know what I mean?
CCP
Broadway musical. You know what I mean? This is it. It's like, oh, we're helping hold the floodwaters back.
We didn't even charge you exorbitant Broadway fees.
Exactly.
This is a musical. Like, think about the guy that's actually, see that guy?
Yeah.
By the way, this is going to tie into, what do you think his salary is, by the way? Just out of curiosity, because this will be relevant in a little bit.
200 RMB a month.
I mean, that's a bit low, but yeah.
Just maybe 1,000 RMB.
Yeah, okay, maybe 2,000 at most.
1,500
at most.
for a sanitation worker like that.
I said at most. I'm trying to be nice. Right?
All right,
a couple $100 a month, right?
Yeah,
that's gonna come into play later. But imagine you're him.
Yeah.
Right. Imagine you're this guy and you're looking over there and you're like, these freaking government employees are wasting water out of the fire hydrant and pretending to do work while I'm sitting here pulling their trash.
Yes.
Isn't that insulting?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's awful.
Anyway.
Yeah, just had to show that. Anyway, again, this Shanghai knife attack in the subway is real, and it did happen just 2 or 3 days ago. Whether you heard about it or not, I guess you probably didn't.
It didn't make huge news.
I searched. You can find it in like little offshoot news things, but like very weird.
I don't
ones.
want to be that guy.
What?
But Americans get stabbed in China, and it's global news everywhere.
Yes, exactly.
Right? But then Chinese people get stabbed, and it's like, that's whatever. Right?
This is something I've been trying to point out for the longest time. 4 Americans got stabbed and made international news.
Yeah.
Literally, commuters in China's biggest, most sophisticated city get stabbed on the thing, and it doesn't even hit CNN. No one cares.
Barely.
People get stabbed in China daily. There are these
insane.
knife attacks, and nobody knows about it.
No.
But you get these people going around, China's the safest place in the world. China's so safe. It's not. It's just that you don't hear about the bad stuff, so you think it's safe.
Yeah.
Anyway, rant over. Back to this whole ridiculous sinkhole thing. If no one was hurt, I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah. I'm like press X to doubt at the moment, considering
big time.
Considering the location, that it's a very heavy traveled area, and it wasn't a blocked off road that collapsed. You can see there is a blocked off road, but next the one that collapsed, it looks like it was a normal road that collapsed because they're working underneath. Anyway, the next day after that collapsed, 1,000 miles away in Guangzhou, we had this sight to behold.
天哪，有没有砸到人呐？天哪，有没有砸到人呢？这个。吓死人了！真的砸到人了吧？这有人在惨叫。 真的砸到人了！哎呀，天哪！快来呀，抢救人呐！天哪！
quickly come up to
快报警啊！
We're not going to show you bodies or anything, but
No, no.
people, screaming.
那里好危险，那里快掉下来了。
Yeah, so anyway, from what you can see here, it's the scaffolding around the building collapsed, right?
There's metal poles and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's
bamboo.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, the building itself didn't collapse. It looks like...
Buildings often collapse in China.
It's kind of hard to tell what's going on behind the leaned-over scaffolding there. But it's pretty bad for something like this to go down. And by the way, where this is located, we've both been there. It's on a Tianfu-lu, which is just opposite the big Tianhe Park. Tianhe, for those of you who don't know, is Guangzhou's big, very flashy CBD area. It's the posh area of that city. You know, when you go to Guangzhou, that's the place you go.
That's where you go.
Yeah, it's Tianhe.
Especially as a tourist.
It's not like a far-flung, weird, like little mini town somewhere. And Guangzhou, previously known as Canton, is one of China's 4 first-tier cities. You know what I mean? This
is prime location here.
Yeah. So that's no small thing to happen.
受伤有一个受伤很厉害，在大叫。
Anyway, somebody needs help, and let's hope they got their help. Let's see. This is, of course, is being posted around, and people are like, "What the hell's going on with this collapse?"
天府路这里这个楼塌了，天府路旁边那里在建的那个楼塌了，我操！
Chengdu is
豆腐渣
basically a
工
first
程
tier
了。
city.
Yeah, Chengdu is massive.
And so here we go.
Yeah. Now, again, I would like to show you the kind of propaganda, the way China counters the terrible things. And, you know, here's the thing. When you have a national disaster like these floods, I think most countries would respond by sending people out to help.
Yes.
And try to deal with it and not try to cover it up or deflect.
Right.
But China tries to deflect.
Yes.
They censor the bad news and then they try to put crap like this out. A traffic police woman directed traffic barefoot for 4 hours on a flooded road in Hezhou, South China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region. #China story. And they put this like soppy music to it and like, oh, she's so like, what a poor woman, right? You know? And they show her like carrying a child across the road. This is all set up, by the way. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. I got a question for you.
We saw the fire hydrants. We get that.
Yes.
Anytime this kind of stuff is filmed.
When something is filmed, it's set up. Yeah. Here's my question, okay? This poor policewoman, and look, it literally says there in Chinese, for 4 hours barefoot, she directed traffic. It's like, wow, what a sacrifice. The Chinese economy must be really bad if they cannot afford gumboots, or whatever you call them, rain boots, for their policewomen and their policemen in a city that very often experiences flooding and heavy rains.
All the time.
Yes.
This is in Guangxi.
So they cannot even equip their police officers with very basic footwear?
Apparently not.
You see where the cracks start to form.
It backfires
every time. It backfires. It shows you, first of all, that the Chinese police are incredibly badly equipped and that they don't have the budget to do something as simple as get rain boots.
Or they do, and they do this on purpose for a propaganda film.
Yes.
Both work, both track.
Yes, yes.
Both track here, guys.
Because she certainly doesn't need to be standing there barefoot.
No, but it makes a great video, doesn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, I just had a little quick check. And yes, this is also a traffic policeman up here, by the way. You can tell by the white hat. You know, she was wearing a white hat. This guy, I'll go back up to the top quickly so you can see. Traffic police wear white hats. And like you see, she's wearing a white woman's hat.
Most of the time,
yeah. Oh, well, pretty much most of the time, yeah. So this guy, see, he's got his white hat. That's a traffic police too. Oh, look at that. He actually decided to wear his
so they do have
his rain boots this time because they do have them and it is part of their uniform.
Did you include the thing with the deflection?
No, I
I'll
didn't.
explain it real quick.
Yeah, please.
So Winston made a facetious post.
Yes.
And he said, wow, the Chinese police are so under-equipped from the government they can't even afford rain boots, right?
Yes.
It's a joke,
a joke,
because you're poking fun at this propaganda.
I'm just turning the propaganda on its head,
it's
right?
A joke, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the shills and the Wu Mao came out, so the people deflecting for the CCP and said, what did they say?
Well, first, for somebody who's like, well, at least you can appreciate her can-do attitude.
Yeah.
But then the other one is like, in East Asia, people don't wear rain boots.
There are no rain
boots. People don't wear rain boots,
It's not part of the
It's not part of their culture. It's like,
and you were
what? Like,
this you,
what
bro?
is this then, bro? What's this? What's this? I know people will make
They're
up
everywhere in China. I saw rain boots all the time.
I'd
say I saw more rain boots in China than anywhere else in the world.
Yep.
Construction workers, traffic police, Baoan.
There's a little drizzle. People got the rain boots out, man.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. It just shows you the lengths people go to try and make excuses for just nonsense. You know what I mean? Anyway.
It's like, you know what the guy probably thought?
What?
When you said that? He probably thought, he'd probably never seen rain boots before. This is a very similar reaction to someone else.
Oh, you mean, I actually put it over here. You mean this?
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
Yes.
It's here, guys.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, that is going to be such a hyper used song.
Yeah, we got to use it. Yeah, exactly. So that brings us to the end of the like horrendous, ridiculous things that have been going on as far as all the natural disasters and things.
Yes.
And I guess would that be classified as soft power hour?
Yeah, for sure. It's a dual use.
What
technology.
you've just seen is soft power hour, where we talk about how China tries to change your mind.
This is very soft power hour.
Yeah, this next thing. Here. Yeah. So just before we finish off, I'd like to dwell a little bit here for a minute.
Dwell.
I just want to dwell because it's huge. A subway line collapses. A sinkhole opens up. Swallows an entire street. Buildings have to be evacuated. Did you hear about it on the news? Well, you know what? A friend of mine, somebody who lives in China right now, he saw my Twitter post about it, and he contacted me and he said, I didn't know that this had happened. And he lives in that city.
Oh, he lived in Chengdu?
Yes, and he lives in Chengdu now.
Right now?
Now.
No way.
So just to let you know.
Wow.
Okay? That's how it works.
Wow, that's wild.
Another guy also, he said that his wife and his daughter, so somebody who follows us, his wife and daughter just left Chengdu this morning and they hadn't heard about it.
Wow.
They hadn't heard about it either.
Wow.
So again, these are anecdotes, but that's how it works in China.
Yeah.
People just the news is so controlled, and the bad news doesn't get out there, and they will try their best.
In that story that we just covered, you will see on major outlets. You'll see it on Fox, you'll see it on CNN, you'll see it on Reuters, you see it everywhere, but you probably won't see much about it in China.
No.
There will be little blips and drips and drabs.
Yeah.
And it will downplay it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Anyway, let's get on to your segment right now. Beyond the Great Firewall, this is where we talk about things that are behind the Great Firewall that they block because China has an intranet, not an internet.
Yeah, so back in the day, I promised I would update you on something.
Okay.
We found something that made us greatly angry, right? So putting together a video, right? I always have to look up statistics, yes?
Yeah, you're a stats boy.
I'm a stats boy, right? It's very important to cover statistics when you're talking about things like the economy, right? If you're talking about China's economy, you're going to know, is it good or is it doing bad?
Yeah.
What does the average person make?
Yes.
What are they saying that the average person is making, right?
Yeah.
So we uncovered this nasty little website
Yes.
called Time Doctor.
Remember when you go there, it doesn't even have a source?
No, well, I'll show you in a sec.
You know what their source is?
source is that I made it the f*** up.
So the reason this matters is this website is inconsequential. I don't care.
But it's the first thing
But
when
it's
you
the first
search in
thing when you
Google.
search. So if you're doing a report, let's say I'm doing a report for school.
Yeah.
Right? I'm in a freshman college econ course, and they're like, "Can you put together a presentation on China's average salary?" Okay.
Yeah.
So I go on there and I go, "Well, Google will help me out,
Yeah.
right?" The featured snip, not the first result,
Yeah.
not just the first result. The featured snippet, by the way, which is Google's way of making something authentic.
Yes.
If Google makes a featured snippet, it means it's been checked, it's been verified, that kind of stuff. Like because enough people have used that as a source, right?
Yes.
That is the go-to thing. It says when you search on Google, the average salary in China, it says in China, the average monthly salary is 29,300 Chinese yuan, which is so
Stupid.
outlandish.
It is ridiculous.
It's
Not like even the top level ESL teachers and stuff, they get like 20 or something.
my wife, who worked in one of China's top companies in a high-level master's degree position in finance.
Yeah.
Right. Made 8,000 RMB per month.
And that's correct. Yeah. And that's high.
We spoke to college students in Chongqing a few months ago, right? Who talked to us because we know somebody that we used to know that lives there now.
Yeah.
They're in contact with other college students, and they asked them for us, right?
Yeah.
They are all making between 2,000 and 3,000 RMB per month as college graduates in major companies in one of the most wealthy cities in China.
The average salary of the people that I used to work for an English training company at some point, and I would go to software companies, IT companies, offices. Okay, it was like business. It was the main clientele were businesses.
Yes.
And I would go in there and I'd teach their managers and the software engineers and stuff. The average person in Shenzhen, first tier city, was earning, I'd say, around 6,000 RMB a month. And that's like the average across the board.
In a rich ass city.
Yes, that is an office worker that's got all the benefits. That's doing like a proper job. We're talking 6,000 RMB a month. The manager or something, maybe 8,000 RMB a month. And then you get the people that are earning
8,000
3.5. Yeah, you know what I mean? So when you see the statistic, it's rubbish. And, we both worked in China, and there's a big disparity, and it's very unfair. But if you work as an English teacher, for instance, in the training centers, the Chinese staff get paid very little, and in comparison to the foreign staff. And the foreign staff usually get paid, I'd say the average salary back in the day anyway was about between 10 and 13,000 to 16,000 top per month. And that was like a foreigner's salary, and everyone was jealous and angry and mad about that because they were only earning like 3 to 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're talking top of the pops.
Yes.
Nobody I know in China ever earned 30,000 RMB a month.
So
No one.
wealthy.
Not even foreigners.
We didn't.
Yes.
Right. So here's the deal. That works out to be $4,214 per month. And in yearly salary, I know Americans do yearly salary. It's about 50 grand per year.
Yeah.
50,000. So the Google snippet.
Yes.
The thing when you're looking it up,
Yeah.
and by the way, not just for a school report, for anyone, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you're writing an article.
Yeah.
This has been going out there on social media. What we found is that websites like this with very false information. This is wrong and false.
Very
Time
false.
Doctor.
Even
this is made up.
Even the Chinese government disagrees with this website.
We'll show you in a second. They're using this.
Yeah.
The state media in China will use this in their English posts and their shills, and this will go out there, and then people will actually use this as factual evidence because this is a Google snippet.
It's the top Google result.
Yes, and it's the Google
fake.
snippet. It's highlighted.
Yeah, it's fake.
So let's look at this real quick.
Yeah. You went to the Chinese government
I did, but I
right?
wanted to look at this.
Okay.
Google gives you transparency. It says about the source, Time Doctor.
Yes.
Time Doctor is a SaaS employee monitoring tool launched by the owners of Staff.com. It includes keystroke logging, screenshot, and internet usage tracking features. I don't know what the hell this is, but why is this the source for China's official
sounds
salary?
like malware.
What is this?
Yeah, what is this nonsense?
Anyway, moving on. I want to actually look at some real stats because Google and Time Doctor, what are you doing?
Yes.
This is inside one of these sites, okay? The average salary in China is 29,300 yuan, equivalent to $4,214, okay?
Yeah.
So you think it's just an erroneous typo?
Yeah.
No, there's a graphic here.
Okay.
Look at this graphic.
So this is still the fake Time Doctor website,
Yes.
right?
Oh, it's one of two. There was two of them
Okay.
that were on the top.
Right.
It says 25% of employees earn, so 25% of Chinese people earn less than 19,400 RMB per month. Try 99%.
99%. Absolutely. What is this nonsense?
Almost everyone earns 131,000 Chinese yuan or less. Okay, that's per year. 75% of employees earn 40,000 CNY. So what are they doing?
Yeah, what is this?
Oh, that's per month for distribution, which is outlandish.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, moving on. Let's actually look at some real figures.
Okay, let's look at the real figures because I'm tired of this fake made-up nonsense.
Yeah, that's being promoted on Google,
Yeah.
right? I just want to point out one little discrepancy here.
Yeah.
So on the same website,
that's saying that people earn like 30,000 a month, right?
Yeah, 30,000 RMB a month, right?
Yeah.
Or we'll put it into US dollars. The same website that's saying the average person earns about 50 grand per year,
Yes.
US. There are significant disparities between the wealthiest provinces and less affluent ones, such as the difference between Beijing's average salary of around $17,000 per year and Gansu's province average salary of $3,500 per year. Wait a second. So in your same website where you just said the average person makes about $49,000 per year, you now say the richest part makes $17,000 per year.
Yes, and then another poor part only makes 3,500 per year,
so
not per month.
You just said the average of China's salary is more than double the highest salary.
Yeah. It's nonsense.
It's fake.
It's 100% fake. Anyone who's lived in China will know it's fake. Anyone who has Chinese friends and family will know it's fake. You know?
Just finding some websites here. Yeah, the real deal is about $998 per month, right? And when you're really adjusting it, and that's skewed so unbelievably
skewed
unfairly,
because
it's
of
not even fair.
The super rich billionaires and tenderpreneurs and government corrupt people, they make a lot of money. And then like you've got your average, white collar workers. I'd say they're earning between 3,000 to 8,000 RMB a month. I think that's a fair amount to say.
I would say that's absolutely fair.
And then the rest of China are really struggling.
Yes.
They're below the poverty line. They're earning like stupidly low amounts.
Let's take you behind the Great Firewall, though.
Okay.
Because if the Chinese government's going to make English posts out of these Google snippets, which are authentic, right? Let's see what they actually do in Chinese. So here's the Chinese government's data.
Yeah, so this comes directly from the China, which, by the way, Chinese government data is always inflated a little bit. So just
a little.
A lot. So you still have to take it with a pinch of salt. So, they'll say like 1,000, but they actually mean like 600.
Yeah, so keep in mind, the official data that's being put out there on Google when you search for this is $49,000 per year, right?
Yes. $50,000 a year.
Let's look at China's official data.
Yeah.
Right. So this is China's official data. This is where they put out non-private sector employees versus private sector employees. Right. I translated it next so you can actually see.
Okay.
The average salary in China, according to the CCP, right? Keep in mind we're looking at
remember that nonsense?
About 49 grand per year. The Chinese government says official data that we've just showed you, $750 per month to $1,300 per month, not $4,300 per month, right?
Yeah.
Google says $4,200 a month. Fix this now.
Fix it. It's false. It's misleading.
It's fake.
If it was erroneous, like down there, somebody's blog post that was wrong, but it's the first result on Google and it's misleading the entire world. Google, this is misinformation, this is disinformation, this is wrong. Nobody is earning that much in China. And now people are getting the wrong idea and people are screwing up their essays, people are screwing up their presentations. People are getting the wrong information from you. Fix it.
So the reason I wanted to put this fix this now message is because we had covered this before and we said we'll give you an update. We've reported it. You guys have reported it. It's misleading. There's an actual form you can fill out and no one has done anything. And do you know why this happens?
Why?
China pays for search engine optimization.
SEO.
You think this is just this post? It's everything we look for on Google now.
We tried to search for homeless people in China.
Yeah.
It showed homeless people in America.
They have deleted and wiped the English-speaking internet and replaced it with fake statistics
and propaganda
on nearly everything we look up.
Green technologies.
Yes.
Like China's leading, and it's like, meanwhile, they're the leading in pollution.
So when you pay for search engine optimization, what you can do is get a post to be authenticated and verified, and it goes up at the top. So now all these search results are overwhelmingly positive about the Chinese government.
Correct.
And they're wrong.
They're wrong.
Fix this.
Fix it. So what have we got here?
I just wanted to look at, so I'll pull it up here.
Okay.
You can,
so
we
this
can
is
look at some of the sectors of salaries from the Chinese data.
This is from the horse's lying mouth.
Yeah, from the horse's lying mouth, exactly.
Yeah. So this is the Chinese government puts out these actual statistics, which, as we know, is always false.
Yeah, we thought you'd be slightly interested in how much, like maybe your position earns in China officially from the Chinese government, right? Mm-hmm. So if we look this up, if we look at this here, it's very small on the monitor, so I'll look at it here. Like an average person in agriculture or forestry or animal husbandry or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That is listed as about 44,000 RMB per month, right? Now remember,
that sounds too high.
Yeah, well, this official data is already so inflated, it's not even funny, right? But at least let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and use this. But is
that per year or per month?
Per year as well.
Per year, yeah. I was going to say that's too high. Per year.
44,000 RMB per year. Per year.
So remember, that's what the fake website is trying to say people earn per month is what they earn per year.
Yes, per year.
Per year.
In mining, for example.
You got to learn how to press spacebar.
Mining, for example. How much do you think a miner makes, right? Like coal miner.
Miners shouldn't be working. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. But how much do you think they should be making in China?
That's hard to tell. There are a lot of illegal coal mines.
That's true.
And I know that it's a very low job in China.
It's a low-paying job, right?
I have no idea. Tell me how much the government says they're earning.
They're earning 75,000 RMB per year, so about $10,000 per year.
That's too much.
That's absolutely outlandish.
Yeah.
Because
they
I know
basically
coal
get
miners.
Slave wage.
Yes, I know coal miners.
Yeah.
Because I had students in the public university system there, and their parents were coal miners, and they were earning nothing.
Yeah.
3,000 kwai a month.
Yeah.
Right. In a dangerous ass job. A lot of their dads would die.
Yeah, of course.
Let's just look at a random one here, like retail, right? Retail's 63,000 RMB. So we're talking like $9,000 a year. A year. But Time Doctor told me it's 50 grand.
Yeah. It's stupid.
Healthcare. Right? Healthcare and social work. 74,000. So like a doctor. I mean, that kind of checks out. Doctor making about 10 grand a year. Yeah.
I mean, look, doctors, the way doctors work, because I used to train a lot of doctors. I mean, remember, it's also like a policeman or whatever. It's a communist country. From that point of view, you don't get paid more than a policeman.
No.
So they'll earn, after all their kickbacks and crap, about 10,000 RMB a month. What does that work out to in a year?
10,000.
12,000?
Yeah, it's about 12 grand or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they saying?
About 10.
About 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about after all the kickbacks and bribery and stuff.
But you also got to factor in the rest of the country. It's not Shenzhen, bro.
No, that's true.
A doctor in Guizhou is not making
No, they're not making that at all. But remember that they get paid the same as like a cop.
Yes.
Which is low.
I mean, so what I just wanted to point out, you can look at this at your leisure, but like the low end of China is making a couple $100 per month. The higher end of China in a professional position, like a doctor, is making like $1,500.
The low end of China is making $500 a year.
Yeah,
Okay.
like they're the low.
The poverty people, you know.
But anyway, I just can't believe they haven't fixed this yet. And again, don't think this is just about salaries. This is about health data. This is about deaths from things. This is about everything.
Yeah.
It's wrong. The internet's broken and China's controlling it.
Yeah, it's unfair. It's unfair because they take advantage of free systems.
Yeah, I mean, they're controlling the
tightly
Western internet.
They control their own internet. Now they're trying to control the rest.
Yeah.
So when you do, even now, when you do a Google search and you want to get information about China, it's going to be wrong.
Yeah.
You know, when you searched, I think, did they fix that genocide thing yet? Where you searched?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
You search about like the Xinjiang Uyghur genocide. The first thing that comes up is a Chinese website telling you about Native American genocide.
Yeah, from the Chinese government.
Yes, from the Chinese government.
So if you looked up Uyghurs before, at least before, you type in like, what's going on in Xinjiang with the Uyghur genocide? It's like the first result was like cn.gov or whatever. And it was like the Native American genocide perpetuated by the U.S. government is truly atrocious.
It's ridiculous. It's information warfare.
Yeah, it is. This is proper information warfare. Yeah.
Anyway,
moving on.
Guys, we have something that we do every Monday. We'd like you to take a look at what you might have missed.
Boom!
But his pants got blown off.
This turns into an absolute nonsense.
I would say he's probably had a bit to drink.
She's got
a plastic bag. Very good to see the discipline the police have.
Forget about it. Do you understand? What's up, man?
This bird is randomly attacking this woman, and the traffic cop's just like, okay.
Great. Oh, yeah.
I love this guy.
Yeah, so guys, we have a private show, a VIP show. It's called Shaban Ho every Monday where we hang out. We cover like a slightly off-topic thing. You know, it's always fun. You get to choose the topics. You know, it's good. It's good fun. So,
Slightly off topic. Well, that's a full topic.
yeah, but it's off-topic from like what we
the
normally
China
do.
show,
We're not talking about China news.
Yes. No, it's not a new show. It's a fun show.
Yeah.
It's a whole separate thing. It's the best way to support us. It's on Monday. We have over 100 episodes you'll get access to if you go to our patreon.com/ADVpodcast. Like, for example, this is Chinese pranks gone too far. There's white monkey jobs. There's all kinds of amazing. This is where you talk about South African media.
Yeah.
We do some crazy stuff. It's all democratic. We have polls. We have chat. We have Q&A. We have voting on the next topic.
Yeah.
We've get in costumes sometimes. Actually, many times now.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, head on over to patreon.com/ADVpodcasts. Please join us if you have the means. It's so much fun. It's our favorite time of the week.
Yes.
And it is a full-on show.
Yeah, and it's every Monday.
Yeah.
But again, the live show, it's live, right? It's super fun, but if you don't have to be there live because it stays up.
Yeah, and if you do join the Shaban Ho tier, you can watch all the previous episodes as well. You can binge them if you like. So let's move on over to Australia.
Okay.
And let's talk about what's happened there, because it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, you're the expert on Australia. Let her
Well,
rip.
yeah, I'm not the expert. I just know that Australia has a bit of a problem belonging to China. You know what I mean?
I knew you were going to say Australians get so mad when you
They
say
always
that.
do, but I mean, if you're mad about it,
You know
fix
what's weird? If you said America belongs to China, Americans wouldn't get mad. They'd be like, yeah, America sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Aussies have some kind of pride. I don't know what it is.
sure.
Like, anyway, the thing is,
We love you, Aussies.
Yeah.
We love you.
so we have a Chinese dignitary that's just come to visit Australia. Big fanfare. So what do you think is going to happen if a Chinese dignitary goes to visit any given country in the West? Just, can you guess?
They're going to bus in people in support with
Yes.
Chinese flags
Yes.
to cause a ruckus and harm people that go to protest against the Chinese dignitary.
Correct.
Yes, that's exactly what happens.
That's what they
every
did.
time.
Yeah. Now, okay, this is kind of crazy. You may have heard of Cheng Lei. She is a reporter that was arbitrarily detained in China and put into prison for 4 years.
Yes.
And the reason behind it is she released some news like 2 hours before they said she was allowed to. Believe that's what it was.
For state media.
Yeah, state media. Anyway, she worked for like the Australian Broadcasting Corporation or something or other, and she released some news, and they arrested her because they can do that in China. They arbitrarily arrest people. Anyway, she's finally been released. Not that long ago, she's back in Australia. So now this foreign dignitary, who is it? It's Lee. What's his name again?
The new one.
The
right?
new foreign minister dude. What's his name? No, I get this wrong. It's definitely not.
It's not
Puppet
the new
Boy.
foreign minister.
Sorry,
it's the new.
what's his name again? The new dude who does things.
Lin Jian.
Ling Jian.
He's the spokesperson, right?
Oh yeah.
Or are you
Yeah.
talking about Li Qiang?
I think it's Li Jiang. Just say like who visited Australia.org and you'll find out.
Yeah, it was Li Qiang.
Li Qiang.
It was the premier, dude.
Yeah, the premier.
Why'd you say it was the foreign ministry?
Sorry, I get confused. Okay.
I was very confused when you said that.
Sorry. The premier. Okay. Vice premier?
No.
Just the premier.
He's the premier.
We're having a premiere?
Go.
Okay, sorry. So anyway, big wig guys coming to Australia. And this is important because, Chinese and Australian relations have been a little bit rocky since Australia was like, one day the whip came down and instead of saying, yes, master, they said, is this okay? And then
You're gonna
China was like,
these Aussies?
China was like, screw you, we're not going to buy your wine anymore. And they threw a fit and the usual stuff. Anyway.
Back on track about who Cheng Lei is.
So Cheng Lei, of course, is the reporter who is an Australian permanent resident. And she got detained arbitrarily for 4 years. She's out. So she's at this press conference, right?
Yes, for Li Qiang.
Yeah. Li Qiang's going to come to this press conference to go and say his thing. And she's in the audience because she's a reporter. That's her job. But the Chinese embassy's like, we don't want anyone seeing her there, okay? Yeah. Because she's bad. And we don't want Li Qiang seeing her in the audience.
Yes.
And we don't want the cameras to capture him and her at the same time.
Right.
So what do? They do this.
She's sitting down.
Yeah. So they stand up in front of her to block her. And the Australian staff are like, hey, can you please move?
You're not allowed to block them.
And then he's like,
no.
Nope. See, they're like preventing the cameras from seeing her. They're standing in front of her. See, there she is.
They're literally
that's her.
Physically censoring a human who is supposed to be there.
Yeah.
In Australia. This isn't in China.
No. So, I mean, here's the thing. These are people from the Chinese embassy, or the Chinese consulate in Australia. They're standing there and they're blocking her.
I'm sorry. And again, no hate. But if this happened in the U.S., it wouldn't have transpired like this.
No.
This is outlandish.
No, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see, because it gets kind of worse, right? They block the view. There's the staff is like, hey, can you move out of the way?
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
Cheng Lei's taking a picture there.
Yeah.
She's literally being physically blocked.
Yeah, so she moves, right? Like, come on, get out. They're coming to block her there now. See?
Like,
and the Australian staff member actually had to physically stand in their way to try and stop them from standing in front.
Out.
Yeah. See, there come the staff to actually block these two belligerent pieces of nonsense.
Staff.
You could see Cheng Lei's laughing about it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, you could see that they were even asked to leave. Here's an Australian staff member of this. This is like their Parliament building or whatever. It's an important building.
Yes.
It's like the Great Hall of the People, right?
Yes. Well, I have a great analogy.
Okay.
In a second.
Exactly. And she's coming to say, look, you actually have to leave. You can't be standing there. And he just ignores her. See? Nope.
He goes, no.
He's like, come on, you got to move. Nope.
How is this? This is what, you know what?
What?
Diplomatic immunity was created so that countries could have diplomatic staff in each other's countries and foster diplomatic ties. This is China's diplomatic immunity. It's we can do whatever we want in your country and actually physically censor and break the law in your country and we'll get off scot-free.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is. It's stupid.
It's insane, though. What is this? This isn't Australia.
Yeah. Well, remember, Australia belongs to China. Here's proof. Fix it, Australia. Fix it.
So my analogy was in the Great Hall of the People, which you just mentioned, right? Imagine this. Just imagine the Great Hall of the People, right? All these CCP officials lined up with the big, red curtains and everything, all the grandiose display, right?
Yeah.
And then there's an American embassy staff in there during the questioning, right? Where they're trying to ask the CCP officials questions, and they stand up and block
somebody
Chinese
they don't
journalist.
like. Yeah.
Block them from, or any journalist or whatever. They could be an American journalist or whatever. And they stand there and they block them. And the Chinese staff's like, don't do that. Can you imagine that? They would make that into an act of war.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, here we go. The crowds were organized, transported, equipped, and monitored by the Chinese government through its embassy and state-linked groups, far from spontaneous support for Li. It was a large Chinese state-organized propaganda and disruption exercise in Australia's capital.
I don't know who this guy is, but that quote tracks with everything we've seen in every kind of organized support thing.
People seem to think that it's organic, that whenever a Chinese dignitary or Chinese official visits, that all of a sudden you have these Chinese flags flying around the place and people are lining up and holding stuffed pandas or whatever.
Yeah.
They think it's normal. It's not. It's organized and paid for by the Chinese government.
Well, so we got proof by that.
Yeah, we do, which is really good. So, as you know, this dude arrived. By the way, this little clip is somebody was trying to desecrate a Chinese flag and the Australian police took the Chinese flag away from him. One of the dissidents.
I don't support any flag desecration, but it's kind of interesting that they protected the Chinese flag.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I wonder if they do the same for the American flag.
I wonder.
Yeah. I feel not. Anyway, let's get on to the main event here. These are the counter-protesters. These are the Free Tibetans. And,
these are all the anti-CCP protesters.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what happened. You've got the Freedom for Democracy, because you've got this kind of weird conglomeration now, okay? You've got people that are ex-Hong Kongers, people that are like Freedom for Hong Kong types. Then you've got the Free Tibetan types. And then you've got the Falun Gong types, which is that banned spiritual cult practice thing. And they all come together in the free world because they all have the same message. And that message is, we've been screwed over by the CCP.
Yeah.
And the CCP is bad,
Yes.
okay? So whenever there's a dignitary coming, they are the other side of the coin,
Yes.
okay? They come there, but the thing is, they come there because they have legitimate concerns,
Yes.
Why is Australia dealing with this horrible regime that basically imprisoned all of our members?
Yes.
Or this horrible regime that broke its
I lost my
promises?
family members to the Chinese government. They're currently being tortured in a black site prison in China.
Exactly.
Like, they have legitimate concerns.
They have legitimate concerns. The Free Tibetan, they have legitimate concerns. Tibet was annexed by China,
Yes.
What about the Free Hong Kong, the Freedom and Democracy for Hong Kong? They were promised autonomy for 50 years and China took it away.
Yeah.
So these are legitimate concerns. So they'll come out and they want to say, like, Australia, what are you doing? Of course, China gets the mob to come in. And look what they try to do. They try to use the Chinese flags to cover up the other protesters' flags.
A lot of physical censorship.
Yes, they try their best.
demonstration.
See, they're like, I'm going to get that flag over to cover your message because I can't have an opinion. You can't have an opinion that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
And then here is the most ridiculous thing. Here's a cameraman working for the Australian news. Now, he wants to film the motorcade coming in.
Yeah.
With Lee in there. And this old Chinese dude over here, this protester, this paid protester, comes there and blocks the camera. Won't let him film.
In Australia.
In Australia.
Yes.
What's going on here?
So he's not allowing the local news in his own country to film a thing that he's supposed to film.
That's his job. He's working for the Australian news. He has his camera to film the motorcade coming in, and the Chinese protester is blocking his camera. This guy's like, whatever.
This is CCP.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. See how he keeps blocking him? So he turns the camera on him. And then he's like,
using
look.
an Australian flag to block the Australian
Yeah,
news.
and look,
Irony.
he won't allow. Look at this annoying old man.
You're gonna say little old man, but we don't know.
No, I had a worse thing to say, but I stopped
You're
myself.
gonna say twat.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew you were
Isn't he
gonna
just
say twat.
absolutely? So then again, on the Chinese side, notice how they're not being really molested much, are they?
Yeah, because it's a
They
free
do
country,
the molesting.
right? Yeah.
They do the molesting.
Because the CCP molests.
Yes.
They're molesters.
They're molesters. Take a look. They have these massive flags. All wearing the red scarves. Yeah, they are. It's like garrison class flags. It's just obnoxious. Aren't they just so obnoxious?
Oh, and the CCP buses in nationalists and then pays them.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
the road, please. Off the road, hey.
They're not doing anything illegal.
Off the road, off the road. Mate, off the road. Hey, off the road.
You're telling him to get off the road. Mate, off the road. You see, this is why Australia is not effective against these guys. Don't be like, mate, off the road. This is where the pepper spray comes out and the handcuffs, okay? It's got to be like...
Protests can be allowed, but it's got to be fair.
You got to do it properly, dude.
Get off the road.
Come on, get off the road, mate. Oh, mate, you okay there, mate? Get off the road, please. This guy, by the way, keeps attacking and bumping into the...
The CCP guy.
Yeah, the CCP guy that they're like, mate, off the road. The reason I say
women.
The reason I say bring out the handcuffs and stuff is because he's physically assaulting people.
Yeah.
That's the reason. Look at what's going on. There's women holding up their signs. I'm guessing they're Falun Gong because they're wearing the yellow stuff. See, he's like bumping into them and trying to break those, signs or whatever.
Yeah, you have to take that guy away.
Yeah.
He's just...
Look, he just keeps coming back. See?
Women.
See, look, he's just elbowed her to the sides, elbowing her out the way. Like, come on, mate. Off the road, mate. See, he knocked her
mate, we'll have
down.
a pint later.
He knocked her down, okay? Give me some money.
Hey, play it.
Yeah, okay, I'll get that.
She should have punched him.
Yeah.
It's real, though.
That's a real puncture. Yeah, anyway, like, this annoying CCP guy, they're just looking, he comes back again. It's like, come on.
Bro, he hit women.
Yeah.
Bro,
And they're like, mate, off the road, mate. It's stupid. Yeah.
I can't even look at this.
No, it's ridiculous.
This is hilarious.
Okay. So just listen carefully here. Here's the Falun Gong guys, okay, with their the yellow thing. And here comes a CCP supporter. And he's saying in Chinese, oh, take a picture of me. Come on, take a picture of me. That's what he's saying. He's like, did you take the picture? Did you take it?
Okay,
he's like, oh, you have?
I'll be right back. I'm going to go get the cops.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm going to get the cops.
Can you play that again?
That's the best. Okay, I'm going to give Australia props this time, okay? You know,
that cop
that cop's hilarious. Yeah, the whole like, get off the road, mate. You know, that cop needs to learn a little bit about handcuffs and pepper spray. Yeah. All right, but this other guy is funny. So this guy's such an obnoxious idiot. Imagine that. You can hear he's like, please, I need help.
Yeah,
he's literally shouting there, right?
But he goes, oh, did you take my picture? You did? All right, I'm going to go get the cops now.
Yes, exactly.
That's the energy.
Yeah.
上好了是吗？OK， 我叫警察。Police! Police, I need help! Police, I need help!
That's like the most Australian thing ever.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. The cop was obviously watching the whole thing,
Yeah, I was
right?
like, this guy didn't have a confrontation whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it shows you how cowardly they are as well. They try to instigate stuff and then they hide behind the police.
You know what I think it is?
What?
And this is just a theory. But this is all Chinese on Chinese, right? Like, at least, like, when I say that, I mean, like, the nation of China. Like, the Tibetans came from there, right? Mm-hmm. They're part of their land that they consider their own. Yeah. The other protesters might be Mongolians. A lot of them are Han Chinese that are pro-democracy protesters. Sure. Maybe they're Hong Kongers. But they're all, like, from this region, right? And honestly, I think the CCP people that get bussed in to do this feel so much more confident to go after other Chinese people than they do anyone else.
Yes.
Because they don't see them as residents or citizens of Australia. They see them as criminals.
Yeah, and persecuted
You're going against our
stuff,
government, our China, right?
Yeah.
They loved the persecuting minorities is the law in China. You have to persecute minorities in China because it goes against the CCP rule of law, right?
Yeah.
So to them, you got to understand why they're being so belligerent. They're seeing these people as criminals in a foreign land. So they don't treat them as humans.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But imagine that, like going to try to instigate, and the cop's obviously watching this guy, runs up to them shouting at this other crowd, like, oh yeah. And then he goes over, oh, police, I need your help. And they're like, no, you don't, because they saw the whole thing.
This is hilarious. You want proof?
Yeah, this is proof. So what happened was the protesters on the Chinese side, obviously, a lot of them were paid to go there, and it was organized by the Chinese consulate.
Yeah.
So it's time to leave now. And some of them can't figure out like how they're going to get back, okay? Because their controller or whoever organized for them to come there hasn't told them which bus to take. So they got onto a bus, a random bus.
Yeah.
Just so happened that it was the same bus where a bunch of dissidents were as well. So they recorded this.
Chinese dissidents.
Yeah, Chinese dissidents. So they obviously saw some Chinese people on the bus. So they also got on that bus.
Yeah, they're like, oh, of course they must be the pro-CCP guys.
So they recorded the audio. Here are the subtitles, and we'll read it.
This will
for
show
you.
you the mentality of a Chinese dissident, a nationalist versus a anti-nationalist, so an anti-CCP Chinese person, versus a nationalist paid for pro-CCP person.
So immediately when this person started recording, he obviously heard they were talking, so he starts recording. So the pro-CCP people were saying, we weren't provided lunch when we arrived. They're complaining, right?
Yeah.
And no lunch on our way back either, or no food anyway. Didn't he say he would pay? He initially said he would pay. Then he was told, no payment. These subtitles aren't amazing, by the way.
They're accurate, but they're sloppy.
Each organization has to handle it themselves. Organizations handle it? How can they handle it? It's okay if a few people come, but they have over 20 people in one group. How much money do they have? They just talk and that's it, huh?
Turn it up a little.
Okay, yeah, it's too low?
Yeah.
All right.
All the way, just jet blast it.
All right.
Yeah, like all the way up.
It is.
No, it's not.
Oh.
There you go.
Like there?
Yeah.
130%?
Yeah.
I'll go up more. Hopefully that's maximum 200%.
It's just this is very quiet.
I really didn't expect it. They started this in the morning. They're so sloppy in their work.
Hold on. So basically, what you just heard was the compensated pro-CCP people.
Yeah.
And they're complaining that
because they were promised that they'd get paid. They were promised that lunch would be provided and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So now the dissident who's sitting in the back seat behind them, he says, "Your organizers said they would give you money."
Now.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
本来组织者说要给你们发钱， 但是后
way
面
lower.
没给你们钱。
Okay. But failed to pay in the end? He's asking the question. He's now asking them.
Yeah.
Your organizer said they'd pay you money, but paid to fail in the end?
只是说把
And they're like, yes. And so he said, oh, but they only covered other expenses
其他费用包了，没让你们出钱。
and didn't ask you to pay? Yes. So they did cover the other expenses, right? Like busing them in and stuff. Sorry, let's get us out of here.
哎呀，现在经济不好，能够
The economy's bad
虽然不
now.
发钱，但是把你的费用
There they didn't pay you. At least they covered your
This is the
expenses.
Chinese dissident.
Yeah, he's taking the piss.
包了也算不错了吧？你们的费。
That's not bad, right? Said, then they shouldn't have promised in the first place.
These are the
That's
pro-CCP people.
the pro-CCP people. Then they shouldn't have promised to pay us in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there we go. I mean, there's the proof is right here.
Yeah.
You can't escape this. They're saying it themselves.
Yeah.
Nobody would expect anything if they hadn't promised it. You know, they promised everything. All covered. Traffic, so transportation, accommodation, and then it ends up like this.
就是费用没给
So they didn't cover all the
没给你们
expenses?
全包，只包了一部分。
Just part of them? Poor organization. We didn't eat dinner until late last night. There were too many people, which makes sense. They bust in a lot of people. You saw the amount of people. So almost 9 p.m. Okay, and then they're phoning someone. This is the best part. They phone someone on a speakerphone.
Yes.
Because they're trying to figure out which bus to
Yes.
take. But they phone it on the speakerphone so that the other person, we can all hear what they have to say. So, hello, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, where are you? We just found a random bus.
Oops.
And we're sitting here for now. We really can't move anymore. It's like, can you sit on the bus? They didn't let us, but we just got on. They were asking like, oh, you could get on?
Yeah.
They didn't let us. We just got on the bus. Our legs are too cold. Why didn't you come to the park? We are sitting in the park.
So
this
these
is
are
their
other-
organizer.
the
Yeah,
other
their organizer.
organizer,
It's like, why didn't you come to the park? We're sitting in the park. But sitting on the park in the ground isn't good. They're complaining. We can't take it. And then they're like, but they're benches. We'd have to walk too far to get to them. This is typical, like,太辛苦了. Yeah. So we just came straight to the bus. So the organizer was like, obviously said, meet in the park afterwards.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's too far, it's too cold. We don't want to walk all the way to the benches there.
Yeah.
So we'll just go sit on that bus. Which bus? They're like, the bus where we got our meals, right? So again, they know the organizer gave them the meals, right? It's good you have a bus. I'm afraid you wouldn't have a place to sit. So tired. I'm exhausted. My feet hurt. Really? Oh, my. This is real suffering.
真的很辛苦.
It must.
真辛苦.
I mean, this is real suffering to have to go to a paid event and have free meals, you know?
These are dedicated pro-CCP activists.
It just shows they don't give a shit. They don't care. They would never do this. I mean, unless they were compensated. They don't care.
Yes.
They're complaining about being too cold and having to sit.
There's no organic support. Look at all these organic protesters that came and stood up for democracy.
Yeah, they paid for themselves.
Nobody told them to go there, right? Then you have these buses of nationalists that they actually don't give a shit. There's no organic support of this.
No, they just get given a red flag to wave and they have to stand there and
you better give me food and
they complain when they don't get their food and free everything. That's the only reason they're there. Real suffering.
So
he's confirming.
Yeah. So they called you to support Li Qiang, but you've been waiting until now? You don't even know if he's coming or not? The news says he's coming tomorrow. So this is before the event?
Yes.
You aren't here to welcome Li Qiang? They're asking the dissident. You're not here to welcome him? Because
they thought he was.
Yeah, I think the best part's coming up. What are you here for? We came to cause trouble for him.
Obviously, protesters.
We're welcoming him in another way. So you're also welcoming him? Yes, welcoming him. No, they're here to denounce him. Am I right? It's like, yes, you guessed right. We're here to
These
denounce
are obviously anti-CCP protesters.
Yeah, exactly. You are denouncing him. We are welcoming him. Who cares if it's welcoming him or denouncing him? Yeah, we can welcome and denounce him at the same time.
They're laughing.
Yeah. I don't know who this Li Qiang is. Never seen him. That's the best part.
The whole crux of this, and I'm so sorry this took so long, but the punchline has arrived.
Yes.
You have Chinese, pro-CCP Chinese protesters that were compensated to come welcome Li Qiang, the premier of China,
they were paid
in Australia.
To be there, yeah.
These women are like, what the heck's going on? This is so poorly organized. Get on the wrong bus and start talking to a Chinese dissident who is there to protest the premier of China.
Yeah.
And the women don't even give a shit.
No.
Like, if you're supposed to be pro-CCP, you'd be like, get out of here.
Yeah,
like, we need to support China. They're like, who cares if we're here to denounce
I don't even know what he looks like. Never seen him. They've just been paid. They don't give a crap.
They don't even know what he looks like.
That's the best part, honestly. They just get paid to go and play support to someone they don't know.
The guy, you might think the biggest dissident here is this Chinese dissident who's like, I'm here to denounce him or whatever.
Yeah.
The biggest dissidents here are the pro-CCP women that have no idea who their premier is.
Yes.
At least the guy knows who he's protesting.
Yeah, they don't know who he
They
is.
don't even care.
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
ridiculous. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I love it. Never seen him.
This is one of the funniest clips I've seen all year.
Yeah, I don't even know what he looks like.
These are the pro-CCP
The pro-CCP people that are there to support him, they don't even know what he looks like. I mean, you don't need any more proof than this, do you?
It's shills, pro-CCP people. Nobody actually supports the CCP organically.
No.
Not even people in the CCP.
They have to be compensated.
Yes.
That's the only reason.
Yes.
So I see all these travel channels like China's amazing because somebody paid for their flight and their accommodation.
Yes. It's this big, the CCP is this big, ugly beast of a monster that everyone hates. Even the government employees don't even like it.
No.
It's just so
people
big.
supporting them don't like it either because now they didn't get their meal on time.
Yes.
And it's how sinkhole. They don't want to walk to the park to sit down.
This clip of just this audio in this bus that this dissident put out is the worst soft power for China I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
For the government.
Correct. Yeah, let's just finish it up. He says what? Mr. Lee looks a bit like he's a new guy. Okay.
They started
All right.
chatting, obviously. Anyway, we're way over time. Sorry, guys. Let's rip through this Philippines thing.
Okay, we're going to rip through the Philippines thing, but just again, by the way, when I say Australia belongs to China, you know that I'm actually just telling the truth, and
I thought you were going to apologize.
I
thought you were going to be like, I'm taking the piss.
No, I'm just sometimes you need a harsh reality. Like when you've got a friend who's got a terrible haircut, but he thinks it's cool.
You talking about me?
Not you. You're
joking.
fine.
I'm joking.
I would say something if you had a terrible.
We're
like
close
they've got
enough.
a really bad haircut, but they think it's cool. Nobody wants to tell them.
He's got like a strip just mowed down the middle.
Nobody wants to tell him.
Right.
Sometimes you need that harsh reality, and you have to say, "Hey, mate, you look like shit."
Right.
And that's what I'm saying to Australia because I care about Australians. I've got Australians in my family. I care about Australians.
Yes.
Australians, get your act together when it comes to China.
So here's the deal. This is my biggest concern, just to cap this off. I'm concerned for the Chinese dissidents in Australia because there's a huge Chinese dissident community there.
Yeah.
This guy on the bus and the thousands and thousands of other ones that moved to Australia to enjoy the democracy and freedom and protection that Australia has to offer so they can get away from the Chinese government. I'm concerned for them because this certainly doesn't look like they have a safe place to be.
No.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't look like that.
Yeah, if the
least.
Chinese embassy can literally go in and block people, censor them physically, and organize these big protests and monitor them.
Yeah.
Because you have to also understand that not only are they there protesting, they are monitoring all the dissidents that arrive too.
Yes.
They're spying on them, they're photographing them, they're filming them.
They shouldn't have to put up with that. The Australian government and police force should have a situation where they block those things from happening. Yes, the pro-CCP protesters should be allowed there, but they shouldn't be allowed to spy for the Chinese government.
May I remind you that in Australia, they raised the Chinese flag over police stations there.
Yeah, one.
Yes, but that's okay.
No,
one
I know,
is
yes. No, I know.
one
I'm
is
just
enough.
saying, I just didn't want plural to slip in there.
I'll plural it in there because it's probably happened elsewhere, and then they were just like, other than that Box Hill one, they're probably like, don't let anyone know we did that. Let's just
We did it this morning.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
It's like at night.
Yeah, exactly. Raise it at 9.
They call and they're like, Chinese embassy, look, we did it for you.
Yeah, exactly. They take a quick photo.
I'm sorry, Australia. We love
Yeah,
you. We
no,
love you.
absolutely.
Tough love.
At the end of the day, I do love and respect Australians, but you have to understand, like, guys, I'm very disappointed that the good Australians are allowing this to slip by.
Do this as an Australian that can participate in your elections things. Do the right thing for the Chinese dissidents that need protection in your country.
Or do the
'cause they
right
should be
thing for your
protected.
own country.
I'm saying both.
You're being bullied all the time, China just says, you do that and we're not going to buy your wine anymore. And all of a sudden Australia's like,
Red carpet.
sorry, master. Here you go. Here's some Penfolds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's move
enough taking the piss. Let's get on with it. Yeah, I do love Australians. Only pirates do this. Philippines accuses China of using bladed weapons in major South China Sea escalation.
So China bullied Philippines in its own water again.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, they smashed their phones.
They smashed their transponders, their phones, their GPS equipment, everything. They boarded the Philippine ship.
Yeah.
The little one.
Yeah.
Smashed everything. Brandished weapons.
Like axes.
Axes and things. And let's just look at the video.
Yeah. You can take a look here. See that axe up there?
So China went into the Philippines waters,
Yes.
the Coast Guard, went to their waters, boarded their ship, and then attacked them.
With axes.
With axes and smashed their transponders.
You know what was the funniest thing ever? Is I saw some Chinese Wumal saying, that's just a selfie stick.
Yeah, I saw that. You told me about that.
But that's an axe. That's not a selfie stick.
What are they doing? Like, bored at work.
I'm going to take you a sideways shot. Bored at work. Here's like a random sea. You know?
Tony, just ignore the Filipinos I'm attacking in front
exactly.
of me.
Ignore the chaos.
With this axe.
Yes. And my axe.
And my axe.
Well, take a look here. This guy, you can see him here. He tries to stab the rubber dinghy.
Yeah.
It's a good thing the knife is made in China.
Thank goodness, because it didn't pierce
It didn't
the
puncture.
rubber. Bro using Chinese
Bro
knife.
literally took a commando knife to a rubber dinghy and it didn't puncture it.
That's some soft power.
Yeah, that's a soft knife blade. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I mean, to be fair, those rubber dinghies are pretty tough, but I still think if you took a sharp knife, you could puncture it.
Apparently, they need to up the budget for the Chinese military supply.
Yep. Anyway, so as you can see, China was misbehaving. You don't see the Philippines. Look, they're like smacking. What are you smacking a rubber dinghy with your pole for?
They want to go back and be like, "See, boss, we tried."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like watching a bee trying to sting someone through glass.
Yes.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is, they're behaving badly. You don't see the Philippines guys trying to stab their boats. You know what I mean? What, they stealing? Look, they stole a backpack off of there and threw it in the water? What are you doing?
They apparently chopped a guy's finger
Yeah,
off.
they chopped a guy's finger off too.
Filipino guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chinese chopped the Filipino guy's
Yeah.
finger off.
What are they trying to,
people
like,
to not.
strobe people? They think it's a rave club here?
It's the worst.
Let's get this party started.
For almost committing an act of war, they did such a bad job.
Dude.
They did so poorly.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing.
It's like,
Oh my god.
they're doing a lot of finger pointing. They love that, don't they? And they're like, here, have some water. Oh, yeah? I'll hit your rubber dinghy with a stick.
So I want to read this.
Okay.
So Philippines didn't respond with violence, by the way.
No, of course not.
The quote is, they are trained in combat. They did not retaliate against the Chinese because they're simply exercising restraint. They probably have received instructions right from the top that whatever circumstance they are not supposed to fight back against the Chinese and escalate the situation. This footage was released by the Philippines military, and it also showed another striking development. The clash took place right next to the BRP Sierra Madre, a rusting U.S.-built Philippine Navy landing craft that was run aground deliberately in 1999 with a national flag hoisted on board to assert Manila's territorial claims over the second Thomas Shoal.
Yes.
This is the closest China's Coast Guard has come to the BRP Sierra Madre. Under normal rules of engagement, the garrison would have fired warning shots. The fact that this incident didn't escalate further is simply because the Philippines exercised utmost restraint. That is a simple fact. They wanted to see how far, this is from a quote from Ko, which is some sort of authority on this in the Philippines. They wanted to see how far the U.S. is willing to pledge its security commitment to the Filipinos. And of course...
What's a Filipino? Is
It's
it like a
kinda like a
jalapeno?
And of course, I don't think Beijing is dumb enough not to have considered the possibility of having all these actions escalate the situation. But I believe that was a risk that they, in the end, decided to take. Now, this is why this is so risky, and we're laughing about this because it's ridiculous.
It's stupid,
But
yeah.
this is close to being an act of war.
It is, you know, you have to laugh at it because, first of all, you have to laugh at their piss poor execution of this whatever you want to call it, this clash.
Yeah.
But why is it that the rest of the world always has to, you know, have restraint? But China could just go and do rubbish like this.
Because you know why? Because nobody wants to freaking go to war. Because most people are reasonable.
Yeah.
China made a calculated risk here. Pause it there, please.
Okay.
Made a calculated risk here to do something that could have potentially. Thank God the Philippines didn't do anything here.
Yeah.
Because any normal response would be to fight back. Because I want to point out where they are on the map here, guys.
Yeah, let's go to...
Let's just point this out one more time. Look at this map. See the Spratly Islands?
Yeah.
You point to them?
Is this they're over there, yeah. Up there.
Where's China?
Way over there. Where's Philippines? Right next to the Spratly Islands.
China's not even close to there. If you go to the left there, that's
it's Vietnam. Yeah.
They're all the way in not even almost on the map.
Yeah. China's way up there.
What are you doing?
You see next to the great country of Taiwan?
Yeah.
That's where China is up there. Here, we have the Spratly Islands. And that side, we have Vietnam. So, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Thank God they had constraint. Because they don't want to
restraint.
have to restrain
Restraint.
and constraint.
Yeah, they constrained themselves.
Thank God that they did not have to use the Mutual Defense Pact Treaty with the U.S. because that's how you escalate this in a full-blown war. And China's really, really just taking the piss. Oh, we're a peaceful nation that doesn't want to escalate anything. All we want is peace.
What are they doing?
Then get out of the South China Sea.
Going all the way down to someone else's territory, chopping off someone's fingers, smashing up all their equipment, throwing their backpacks in the back, trying to sink their rubber dinghies in the middle of the sea, by the way.
Yes.
What on earth
What
are
are you doing?
Yeah, get out of there. Guys, let's just hope it doesn't escalate, but I'll tell you what, if it does, it'll be China's fault. They're always pulling these tricks.
This is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just had to throw our
quick story over here, guys. The Chinese journalist who promoted the Me Too movement is sentenced to 5 years
there's a blurb.
Prison.
Yeah, just so you think that China's a progressive country that's going to take care of its people. This is the verdict. Okay. China's Me Too movement. There was a journalist who promoted women's rights as part of the country's nascent Me Too movement, has been sentenced to 5 years in prison on charges of incitement to subvert state authority. So to ask for women's equal rights in China is saying that the Chinese government you're subverting their power. So what that means is the Chinese government doesn't think that women are equal.
No, of course
That's
not.
what that means.
Yeah.
Because it's against the law to say so.
This is the biggest farce ever, is people think that China's progressive when it comes to women's rights, all because Mao Zedong said women hold up half the sky.
Yes.
What they didn't realize is that he meant women have to burden the same amount of forced labor as everyone else.
Yes.
So when you're out in the field slaving away to build these communes, women can't relax. They have to also be out there doing just as much hard work as the men.
Yes.
It wasn't anything altruistic that he was trying to say.
No, it was like, we need to make women do more physical labor.
Yeah, women need to also sweat, and
Yes.
carry heavy loads.
Yes.
That was what he said.
That's what he said.
And
I just want to finish reading it real quick.
please read.
The verdict provided to the Associated Press stated that Huang Xueqin also would also face a fine of 100,000 yuan, was $14,000, underscoring the ruling Communist Party's intolerance of any activism outside the control in a system whose upper echelons are dominated by men. And that's absolutely what this is.
Yeah,
you don't even have to be on this, like, it has nothing to do with feminism or even the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
China's government is dominated by absolute insane inequality with women.
Well,
It's
I mean, just look at the
crazy.
entire, that big Great Hall of the People where they have the
Yes.
CPPCC junk. Where is that nonsense? It's just this nonsense.
CPPCC. CPPCC.
And count how many women you see sitting in those, positions at the top. And I'm pretty sure you'll count 0.
Yes. China's hashtag MeToo movement was flourished briefly before being snuffed out by the government. China often silences activists by holding them incommunicado for a long time and then sentencing them to prison. Huang's release date was listed as September 18, 2026, accounting for her earlier detention. Co-defendant Wang Jianbing was sentenced to 3 years and 6 months on the same charge. Wang is more known for his labor rights activity, but also helped women report sexual harassment. They threw a man in jail that was helping women report sexual harassment.
Yes. That's
Yes.
right. That's China.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's illegal.
Please, if you're going to take anything away from this story, just remember that in China, women are not treated equally.
No.
Okay? And if they try to, say hashtag Me Too, they go to jail.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is wild.
Yeah.
Can you read this?
Okay. China's Xi, in other words,
Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping, the chairman of China, accused the US of trying to trick him into invading Taiwan, but said he won't take the bait. Isn't this the easiest out you've ever heard? Or the lamest out?
China, for the past 50, 60 years now, 70 years now, has been claiming that they're going to take back Taiwan and invade by force, right? They do it more now than they ever have in the history of China,
Yeah.
right? They threaten the invasion of Taiwan all the time. So the U.S. goes, well, crap, we're going to have to do something about that. We'll have to protect Taiwan, right?
Yeah.
But we really hope that China doesn't do it. China goes, I can't believe you tried to trick me into invading Taiwan. We won't fall for such a trick. Is that not the most convenient out you've ever heard in your life?
Stupid. It reminds me when I was in high school, like...
Hold me back, bro.
Yeah, no, I
Hold me
mean,
back.
I seriously, I remember this one thing. There was this, I was young, right? So anyway, and I had an argument with this guy. And so he challenged me to meet on the playground or whatever to fight. I was probably like 16, something like that, right? So he's like, I'm gonna F you up, all this kind of stuff. So, I didn't want to fight, but I'm not gonna back down from a challenge. So I went to the playground and he didn't turn up. And then he was like, yeah, I decided, I got into a lot of trouble for beating somebody almost to death that one time. So I just didn't want to, I thought that, I don't want to do that because, I got into trouble the last time.
This is hold me back, bro.
It is. It's hold me back, bro. It's like I turned up, he didn't,
So this.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I was genuinely concerned that something was wrong here. So I just go ahead and play this.
Okay.
So I had a couple questions to ask here.
Okay.
Because the U.S. apparently is tricking China into invading Taiwan, not their entire media apparatus that keeps saying they're going to.
Yeah.
Well, why did they just make a law or reenact a law that was written in 2005 threatening the death penalty for Taiwan separatists? But How are you going to give the death penalty to Taiwan separatists if you're not going to invade?
Yeah, exactly.
You just said America's trying to trick you.
Yeah,
I'm not going to fall for it.
America's trying to trick, Xi Jinping into invading Taiwan. Yeah.
But how are you going to give the death penalty to separatists in
can't.
Taiwan if you didn't invade?
Yeah.
Right. Another thing. What does that say?
China reaffirms its military threats against Taiwan weeks before the island's presidential election.
This doesn't track.
This is America tricking Xi Jinping. Tricking Xi Jinping into reaffirming its military threats.
This just doesn't track.
No, it doesn't seem correct.
What's next?
Yeah, what else is America tricking China into doing?
So China's not going to invade, right? Because America wants to trick them. Yeah. This you, bro?
Yeah?
This you, China?
Yeah, China. Oh, man.
Crap, what is this? China's military's Eastern Theater Command released a video that basically shows drills about invading Taiwan. Go ahead and play that. But wait a minute, I thought this was just a trick.
Yeah.
This you, bro? China, this you?
Yeah.
I'm genuinely concerned. Is this you, China?
Yeah.
Is this your military?
Yeah. No, this is America tricking China.
Oh, sorry, I was so confused.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
I like Beijing said the 2-day drills were a strong punishment for what it called separatist acts by Taiwan after the inauguration of the self-governing island's president.
Dang, I'm just wrong again.
Self-governing island.
I just don't understand. I must be too dumb to understand the situation. I thought that America tricked you.
America tricked them into doing this.
They won't do it, though.
No. What else? What else did America trick them into doing, I wonder?
打开保险，5、4、3、2、1，放。
Should have shot something.
Taiwan said it tracked 46 Chinese warplanes. It said 35 aircraft flew across the median line in the Taiwan Strait, which separates the island from the mainland. Ah, crap, but... So why would you do that if you're not going to invade?
America tricked them, but just at the last minute they realized it was just a trick by the Americans.
Oh, that's why. They were so ready.
Yeah.
And they would win.
Oh yeah, of course. No, we'd win, but we're not gonna fall for the. You know what this is, guys? It's very simple. Xi Jinping has to keep promising the people of China that he's going to invade Taiwan. He has to, because he's promised in China. He's promised it for so long. Every leader promises that this is going to happen.
Yes.
But because they always fail to do it, and they always fail to do it, because they know...
Because they're not gonna. It'll destroy their economy and country.
Yes, but they have to keep promising. That's why they get support from the people. There's always the nationalist stuff they whip up. And he has to think. He's like, damn, how do I, tell the people that I didn't do it? How am I going to tell them that? What's the reason I didn't do it?
Because we just said we're gonna.
Yeah, now. Very recently they were just really ramping it up. Like, what can I say? I know... We've been telling everyone that America is the enemy, okay? And we hate America, right? So I'm going to tell everyone that it was America trying to trick me into invading. Yes. So I'm not going to fall for their trick.
So we don't need to invade.
No, we don't need to invade. It's actually America's fault that, we're not going to invade.
Us. Those tricksters.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's such a good out, though. I support this.
Yes.
I support this.
Yes.
Please continue using this excuse.
It's such a good excuse.
I'll be the American. I don't care.
China would want to trick you into invading another country.
Yes.
Please
We're tricking you.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't fall for the trick.
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
fall for the trick.
And Xi Jinping, don't go see the Titanic in a submarine either, please.
Chinese government.
Xi Jinping. Chinese government. Yeah. Chinese government and Xi Jinping, all of you.
The whole 90 million.
Yes.
Board.
No, the people sitting in that
joking.
stupid thing.
It's a joke.
Yeah. Lovely. Oh,
man. Anyway, I think you get the idea. But interestingly enough, U.S. and China finally had their nuclear talks after all these years on hiatus. First time in 5 years, right?
Yes.
So again, if this is all a trick,
yes,
this is a recent quote.
Yes.
So I didn't want to let this one slip away.
Okay.
Keep this in your mind, in the context of, China's just been tricked into invading Taiwan, so they're not going to do it because they didn't fall for it. They've told the U.S. side that they're absolutely convinced that they are able to prevail in a conventional fight over Taiwan without using nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's America tricked them into saying that.
But they just said it.
Yeah.
He literally just said this.
Yes, exactly.
But it was just a trick?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just a trick.
America tricked them into saying that they could defeat Taiwan with conventional weapons.
Ah, crap.
Yeah. Oh, well. So, guys, it's time for our Q&A section here, our Yamcha, where we answer your questions and you question our answers. We keep this up live now during the live show. We keep it up on the weekend. We take it out of the show on Monday.
Yeah.
So, if you're sticking around, stick around. If you're not, cheers, stay awesome. Gonna loosen the tie. It's Friday after all. Let's have a relax.
Bud Agagon says, here's your Mai Tai money for the week. Greetings
Tai.
from the Maldives. Oh, wow, you're on the Maldives. That's cool. What are your thoughts?
Mai Tai.
What's